Hey folks, if you like what I'm putting out here on Geekdom 101 and want to hear my thoughts on other aspects of geek culture like video games, TV shows, movies, pro wrestling, and more, check out my second channel, World of Geekdom. I will leave a link down below for you to check that out. I thank you and I hope you enjoy it. So before we get to Super Saiyan 3, the final transformation that Goku was able to attain in Dragon Ball Z, I want to take a sidestep and discuss a form or something that I've been waiting to talk about for years, and that is Saiyan power, Super Saiyan power. There's not much really to be known about this abstract and bizarre circumstance that led to a lost form that virtually no Dragon Ball fan ever talks about, but it's a very real story. It's a very interesting story. We don't know much about it. I couldn't even tell you any multipliers because this thing isn't even really official, and yet it is official because it popped in the series. So on this video, I'm going to tell you the entire story behind Super Saiyan power, what it is, where it came from, everything that I know, and by the end of the video, I will tell you my thoughts on whether or not we should consider it official or not. But of course, I leave that final opinion up to you. Let's get to that video now in the Transformation Guide. So this is one of the strangest circumstances that's ever come about when it comes to Dragon Ball Z, and I've never discussed this before until today, until this video, and I've been waiting years to make this video. So the whole thing, this entire Super Saiyan Saiyan power awakening transformation, whatever you want to call it, is something that came completely by accident and wasn't a thing. It wasn't really talked about until many years later when it got brought back up again. This whole thing started back during the next episode preview of Dragon Ball Z episode 194. Now, this is the episode where Trunks goes back to the future to wipe out 17, 18, and Cell in the future timeline. If you watch the original broadcast version of this episode, or if you watched the Dragon Box version with the next episode preview discussing episode 195, which is the first Otherworld Tournament episode, in that preview we see Goku fighting against the Ginyu Force, and he is clearly in his transformed Super Saiyan state. However, when the episode actually aired on Japanese television and on subsequent releases all over the world, he was in his base form. Goku had black hair, but yet it was still spiky, and he still had the golden aura around him. And even when you watch this episode today, you can tell something is strangely off about this scene, and the reason why it feels that way is because Goku was intended to be a Super Saiyan until there was a change made last minute before the episode would air on Fuji TV, and this was back on July 28th, 1993. And the reason for this is because last minute, the creative team behind the Dragon Ball Z anime, in this case it was led by Aya Matsui, who is the credited writer for this episode, decided at the very last minute that during episode 195, as they were slowly building up the big climactic fight with Goku and Paikuhan, which would happen at the end of this short 5-episode arc, they decided last minute, according to the scuttlebutt, that they wanted to hide the fact that Goku could go Super Saiyan from Paikuhan until their actual fight would happen just a few episodes in the future. So instead, last minute, they went back and they recolored Goku's golden hair to being black. But they kept the aura and the spikiness of the hair the same. But you could tell, even if you didn't see the original promo clip, the original next episode preview, that it was really supposed to be Super Saiyan. Anybody with a trained eye can pick up on that. So what ended up happening here? Well, like I said, this was completely a last minute change done by the anime staff because they wanted to slightly tweak the storyline and make Goku's transformation in the tournament a bit more impactful, a bit more important. Toriyama had nothing to do with this, by the way. This is during the time when he was still writing the manga. He was in the Buu arc, and there was no involvement with Toriyama in any of this, which is why we've never seen this quote-unquote form in any of Toriyama's works. And many fans have confused this form as being the same as false Super Saiyan or pseudo Super Saiyan, and that is incorrect. That is not what this is whatsoever. This is, without question, an animation blurb that wound up being a bigger thing than it actually was. So for a long time, this was pretty much ignored by both the fandom as well as the production staff. However, there are two brief scenes in Dragon Ball GT where we see Goku using this form, this power-up, where he sees the golden aura but with the black spiky hair in the series. The most notable was against Frieza and Cell in their battle with Hell in the Super 17 arc. So again, this is not the last time that we saw it, but after the GT episodes, we never saw or heard from this ever again, and none of the guidebooks ever listed this as an official transformation because it was not an official transformation. However, things got really interesting years later with Dragon Ball Heroes. Somebody, and I don't really know who, but somebody who worked on Dragon Ball Heroes remembered this from Dragon Ball Z and from Dragon Ball GT, and so in Dragon Ball Heroes there is an upgrade card that will let you tap into this form that they refer to as Super Saiyajin Power, Super Saiyan Power. Both adult Goku from Z and GT Goku both can use this ability. So as a result of it being included in Dragon Ball Heroes, one could make the argument that this form became official, but it just depends on your point of view. If you're going to ask me my opinion, no, I do not think this is an official form. It was an original animation mishap. They somehow retconned into a power-up for Goku, but it's really rarely discussed, rarely referenced, and definitely not explained in any of the material, including the Dragon Ball Heroes card itself. Now, understand that in the manga, because I know someone's going to bring this up, there is a shot of Goku and Gohan doing the father-son Kamehameha, and in the full color version, Goku does have the black hair, and it's spiked up. But understand that the full color manga came out years and years after the original black and white print of the manga, when DBZ was still on the air, so that has nothing to do with this. This was totally a mistake done by the animation staff that they later would turn into a somewhat transformation or whatever you want to call it. I've decided to put it in the transformation guide because it's such an interesting sort of obscure Dragon Ball Easter egg that'll be a piece of trivia at some point in the future. What is Super Saiyan Power? Is it a form? Is it an ability? It's both, and it's something that was completely created from happenstance, which I think is quite interesting. So with that being said, I will bring this video to an end, and yeah, hit the like button, subscribe if you have not, hit the bell, and I hope you enjoy this video because I don't know anybody who's talked about this, and I've been waiting to talk about it, and here it is. So thank you, I love you guys, and I will catch you in the Super Saiyan 3 transformation guide coming soon, but in the meantime, check these videos out, and have a nice day.